The Full Disclosure Public Trust Restoration Act of 2025. I come before you today not as a politician, not as a party loyalist, but as a citizen, bound by duty, compelled by conscience, and committed to restoring the most essential element of a free society, trust. My grandfather was Ed Reinecke, U.S. Congressman and Lieutenant Governor of California with Ronald Reagan. My grandpa was a man of principle. I was proud to call him not just family, but a mentor and a good friend. Growing up, I learned firsthand that politics is about stewardship. It's about preserving trust, transparency, and the voice of the people. As I speak to you today, I wear a silver bolo of an Indian chief, once worn by my grandfather, a symbol of strength, dignity, and heritage. And in my hand, I hold my grandfather's gavel he used in U.S. Congress. And here is an eagle gifted to my grandfather by President Ronald Reagan, inscribed with the words, "Peace through strength." They are reminders that true leadership is built on conviction, not convenience. Let's be honest. Public confidence in the institutions that are supposed to protect and serve us is at an all-time low. Faith in government, courts, and leadership has eroded through decades of secret deals and undisclosed affiliations. A government is supposed to derive its power from the consent of the people. Ours derives its power from deceiving people. Today, we take the first step in truth over tyranny, disclosure over deception, because without transparency, freedom is fraud. I'm proud to introduce the Full Disclosure Public Trust Restoration Act of 2025. This legislation brings long overdue accountability back to the American people, ensuring our government is no longer cloaked in secrecy. Since 1913, when Congress handed monetary authority to a private banking cartel under the Federal Reserve Act, the American people have been robbed. Silently, steadily. The US dollar is now worth 1/100th of its former value. And the result? A nation financially and morally drained by invisible hands. People feel misled, misunderstood, like a mistress in a bad relationship, gaslit, neglected, and constantly lied to. We now live in an era where secret societies operate in the open, and no one seems to care that the emperor has no clothes and everything is starting to sag. I've seen firsthand, our courts are corrupt, not just flawed, weaponized. They've become unconstitutional, secret society, Stasi star chambers, targeting the innocent and protecting the occult. We saw it with Epstein, we saw it with Diddy, and don't even get me started on the COVID-19 cover-up. The Full Disclosure Act is not complicated. It's simple in effect and powerful in purpose. If you serve the public, elected, appointed, employed, or contracted, you must disclose all affiliations, public, private, and secret. From the president to the garbage man, if you're paid by the public, you answer to the public. Because the people have a right to know if their public servant is serving something more than the Constitution. Let's say you're a billionaire building skyscrapers in Manhattan. The public has a right to know whose palms you grease. What kind of lube and how many tubes do you use? Say the court takes your kids. You have a right to know how much Title 4D and Medicaid money is flowing through the closed-loop network of judges, police, and therapists profiting from the destruction of your family and your children. Sure, we've got the Freedom of Information Act of 1966, but why should we have to request public information? Why isn't it readily available online? We've got the Ethics in Government Act of 1978, but it doesn't cover conflicts of loyalty, only financial conflicts. We've got state sunshine laws for access to meetings and records, but it won't get you into the Bohemian Grove or the Bilderberg meeting where the real backdoor deals are made. So let's face it, this is not a partisan issue. Honesty is not left or right, Republican or Democrat. Integrity is the foundation of decency and democracy. We can all agree secrecy is tyranny, and tyranny leads to slavery. The Full Disclosure Act is not radical. It does not demand anything extraordinary. It simply affirms this truth. If you serve the public, your allegiance must be to the public, not to the cubic or the pubic. If you spend or receive public funds, you must account for them. All of them. Because public service is not a private privilege. People are done with backroom deals, with hidden hands, and clandestine agendas. The right to know is the right to be free. This act is not anti-religion. It's not anti-government. It's pro-transparency and pro-accountability. It's a prophylactic against the demonic. Nothing in this act compels disclosure of personal religious beliefs. But let's be clear. The First Amendment does not protect satanic ritual abuse. And to those who would invoke the Fifth Amendment to avoid disclosing affiliations, public servants cannot use constitutional rights to avoid constitutional responsibilities. The people deserve truth. A constitutional republic requires trust, and only those with something to hide, hide. The Full Disclosure Act is a litmus test. Truth or fiction. Real or fake. Honest or liar. Welcome to the end of chaos and the beginning of clarity. Let transparency reign. Let the air of secrecy cease forever. The time has come for the Full Disclosure Public Trust Restoration Act. Visit fulldisclosureact.com and read the act, sign the petition, share it, and champion it. Without transparency, freedom is just fraud. And without full disclosure, government is just theater. Let's return truth to the halls of power. Support the Full Disclosure Public Trust Restoration Act. For you, for your children, and for the future. Thank you. And please, get her done.